What's up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're asking the question, when does it make sense to invest in Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes? Now, you might be saying, duh, obviously. Well, it makes sense if you can get them at MSRP. And due to the limits that we're all forced to abide by, essentially, you can usually only get one, or more recently now, two. Which that's really not a whole lot. Sure, you can save one and flip one and cover your cost bases, but is that really a position in something? I'm gonna say no. There's a lot of sets that were like that, Destined Rivals. Fortunately, I was smart enough to buy one secondhand while it was cheap, but I only got an extra one. You know, that's not really a good position in something. So when does it make sense to go a little, a little harder on something, get a little bit of a size to it, get some position, get multiples of something? In reality, when does it make sense to buy at market price? When does it make sense to buy secondhand? I think the first and obvious choice is if it's a specialty set. So what's your specialty set? Those are the sets that don't have a booster box. That means the most exclusive, most premier, the best product you can possibly get is a Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box. I think those sets are the dead obvious, like, go hard on these because nothing comes out as better than this. Some examples of that is 151, Paldean Fates, Ascended Heroes, obviously Prismatic Evolutions. Those are going to be your obvious sets to do that. I'm not saying, go buy it right now at $1,100 or $500 or whatever they are for those sets. I'm saying moving forward, usually when stuff first releases, it's the cheapest. At least sealed product wise. I mean, we saw it with Ascended Heroes. When Ascended Heroes came out, the PCTPs were like 170, and by the end of the week, literally by the end of the week, they had doubled in price. So obviously the time to buy those were at release when they came out and were like 170. I'm kicking myself because I didn't buy any. Honestly, I thought they were going to get down to 150 because there was a lot of stock. There really was. But hey, I missed the boat on that. I'm okay with that. If we get some restocks like Prismatic, maybe it'll come down a little bit. Maybe I can hit the restocks. We'll see what happens with that. Next, I would say if it's a weak set, but it has a banger promo, that would be the time to buy it. Yeah, you'll have booster boxes and stuff, but again, if the set is very weak, the chase cards in there is not really that crazy. The best example from this is obviously Obsidian Flames. The PCTB is worth more than the booster box. The literal ETB promo itself is the same cost as the top hit Charizard out of the set. So just by buying the ETB, the base promo is worth more than the best card you can pull. Like, what? That is crazy. Now the Pokemon Center exclusive promo, I mean, that's just way more expensive. And then if you gem it, you're looking at multiple thousands of dollars. So yeah, in this case, it makes sense. You would want to have gone after the PCTBs over the booster boxes, and I'm glad I did that. Obsidian Flames is the only set I have absolutely nothing of except for Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, and it is strictly because of that promo. That promo is amazing, and if we see sets like this in the future, I'll know 100% without a doubt, hey, you need to go after the ETB and don't worry about the booster boxes or anything like that. And I believe we haven't really got another set like that, to be honest, but I'm sure we will in the future. I would also say next would be if we ever get restocks or reprints of the PCTBs on Pokemon Center. I mean, obviously, try to get them at MSRP from Pokemon Center, but that would be the time with a huge dip to go in on the secondary market. Honestly, I would say to do that even if it's a good set, even if the other points made don't qualify, I would still say that's probably the best time to go after it. If you think about Twilight Masquerade had one, Black Bolt, White Flare had them. I actually capitalized on those. I didn't get anything huge. I got a couple of them, and I looked like an idiot because the market fell as well, and I was down. But now I'm back up. Just a short couple months later, I'm back up, and I don't look like an idiot anymore. And now I'm like, all right, we're cool. Don't worry about it. I would also say, if there's market downturns like we had over the winter, 20, 30% drops on PCTVs, I mean, outside of a restock, they should not be dropping like that because they sell out instantly and we don't see them again. And if we do see them again, market drops, buy them up. the market goes right back up. It's pretty self-explanatory in that regard, but definitely if we ever see a restock on any Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs going forward, I'd definitely be paying market on the restock because the market comes crumbling down. The one set I did not do this with was Stellar Crown. Now, Stellar Crown, I was able to hit one at MSRP. Now, Stellar Crown is a bad set. I will be the first to admit it does not have a good promo. It is just a bad set all the way around. But because I was able to get it at MSRP on the restock, I was cool with buying it. Secondhand market, I think it dropped down to like $100, but even at that, I did not want to buy it. Sure, I could have quick flipped the Stellar Crown PCTV, but Stellar Crown, again, that's the only product I have for Stellar Crown. I had sold my not my ETBs, my booster boxes, I want to say last summer sometime, and man, were they hard to get rid of. So when it comes time to selling this PCTV, I know it's going to be hard to get rid of, but you know, there's worse things to have money in than PCTV. So my eyes, hey, we'll put it on the shelf, let it appreciate a little bit, and I'll get rid of it after, you know, a year or two when it's gone up a little bit more in value. Where else am I going to get something worth $60 for $60? You know what I mean? I got it at MSRP. I'm not worried about it. The reason I picked up Twilight Masquerade when they dropped during the downturn and when it had dropped on the reprint is because it was so cheap compared to the booster box. It just kind of made sense. Twilight Masquerade isn't a bad set, but it also has a booster box, and I would rather just have the booster box in most cases. But when the PCTV is that much cheaper than the booster box, to me, it makes sense. A prime example of this was Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals booster boxes started pumping. You know, I was able to pick some up around I want to say 220, 230, and then they went to 250, and then they went to 300. And when they were at 300, the PCTVs were still lagging behind. PCTVs were worth buying at that point. You have a fantastic set with a fantastic promo. The promo has a low gem rate and a low population. It just made sense. So I went in and I think I bought one for like $135, PCTV for about $135. And that seemed to be a great move at the time, but man, that window went fast. Right after that, I was trying to buy some more, and I mean, the PCTV just went through the roof. So unfortunately, I was only able to get one of those, but it's still better than the one I had. So now I have two. I wish I would have been able to, you know, maybe get 5 or 6, but they just weren't available for that long. I just wasn't able to pull the trigger on that many. And that's okay. But that helps me identify, hey, I made the right move at that right time, just because, you know, given the information, the booster box is going up. Everybody knows the set's amazing. This promo is amazing. And the promo has great, you know, it has a very bad gem rate, which is great for slabs. Very low population, which is, again, great for slabs. I mean, how many people are really cracking open Destined Rivals PC ETBs? I can't imagine there's a lot. So that's going to stay low. That promo is going to stay low all the way around. And I mean, you could see that promo is anywhere between $500 and $700, depending when you looked at it. It's been a little while since I already grabbed mine, so I haven't really looked at it. But I know it's between $500 and $700 just for the promo itself in a PSA 10. So let's talk about when PC ETBs don't make sense. I think when it's a weak set and it's a weak promo, I think you're better off just buying the booster box. Perfect Order, I would say, is probably going to be the best example. Just buy the booster box. It was available at MSRP from a lot of shops around me. It sat, I know some larger shops online, it sat for like 30, 40 minutes, basically at MSRP. You were able to get it like $200 on TCG Player. Sure, it's not available at that price now, but why were you waiting? You should have just bought it anyway. If you wanted it, you should have just bought it anyway. Pokemon Center exclusives, yeah, if you got it at MSRP for $60, you're good. But to buy that secondhand, I'm expecting it to come out and probably be like $150. At that point, just buy the booster box. The promo is not really good. The set itself isn't very good. I just don't see the point. You know, booster boxes are king for a reason. I do believe Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs may overtake that in the future, but they're still really new, being that the first PC ETB came out with Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign was an error box. It didn't contain the correct amount of packs. And we didn't get those Pokemon Center exclusive promos until the start of Scarlet and Violet. So overall, it's still a relatively new product. The new promos in them are pretty much, you know, it just started with the last generation. So it's what, 3-4 years old. It's still relatively new in the grand scheme of things. So with these bad sets, I just tend to stay away from them all around. So let's get back to the bad sets. So it's a perfect order is a bad set. It's a weak set. It really doesn't have a good promo either. Yeah, it makes sense to buy the PCTV at MSRP, but you were only able to get 2. Does it make sense to go hard on this in the secondhand market? I don't think so. Because you're going to be paying pretty much the same cost as you would have been able to get booster boxes for. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm sure you could say, hey, I can't get booster boxes at MSRP anymore. Well, at that point, maybe it does become, maybe it does make sense to buy the PCTPs, but again, it's a weak set. These get hard to offload in the future. No matter what, it could be booster boxes, it could be PCTPs, it doesn't matter. Bad sets are hard to move off of in the future. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter if it doesn't get a reprint and the set goes to $500 when it comes to rotate out. It will be so hard to move. I found that out with Vivid Voltage. I found that out with Stellar Crown. I just don't want to touch those products. Sure, when they come out, I will do a blanket investment. We'll talk about this in another video if you guys want, how I like to invest in, sealed products. But get rid of those as fast as possible, because sure, they'll appreciate just like everything else in Pokemon, but they'll appreciate slower and they're harder to get rid of. It's my 2 cents. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with this philosophy or not? Tell me why in the comments below. If you made it this far, #Gladiator. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you on the next one. This is Max Packs, dipping out. In the description of the video, join the Discord, shop our website, and join the email list. We will also drop Perfect Order sometime soon and Ninja Spinner releases in a couple days. Check us out, maxpacks.com. This is Max Packs. I'll see you guys in the next video.